This is a Christmas beer. This is a Christmas tie. Die Hard is not a Christmas movie, and I will tell you why. I'm sorry about that. I've been watching a lot of The Grinch with my kids this year. A lot of rhyming shit. I apologize for that. That was pretty stupid of me. Hello. Good evening. Thank you for joining me. I am the Archbishop Cecil B. DeMillionaire, and I'm here to wish you all a very Merry Christmas. I hope that your festive season is in full swing. I hope that you're spending time with your loved ones, that your kids aren't driving you completely fucking insane. Mine are good. Mine are very good. As long as I've got plenty of this, I can handle it. Old Fezziwig, absolute holiday favorite of mine going back decades now. And can you believe that recently someone left an insulting comment on one of my videos telling me that I was vacuous, which I had to Google, and poorly dressed? Who's poorly dressed now, bitch? I got a shawl lapel on. Can you believe that guy left me a comment to insult me and then called me rude? Fucking guy. I hope he still has a Merry Christmas. But that is not why I'm here to talk to you today. I'm here to talk to you today about a very serious matter, something that people have been arguing about for many years now. Full disclosure, most of my friends and acquaintances consider Die Hard to be a Christmas movie. I'm friends with a lot of dumb people. What can I tell you? I very much consider my position on this matter to be a minority position. Okay, I understand that I am in the minority on this subject, and I'm okay with that. It's fine. And why not? You know, the narrative of Die Hard takes place on Christmas Eve, after all. I mean, for a lot of people, that's all you need. Call it a Christmas movie as long as the narrative is occurring on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, right? Every other time a movie takes place on Christmas Eve, it's considered a Christmas movie. All of the iterations of How the Grinch Stole Christmas take place chiefly on Christmas Eve. The majority of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol takes place overnight, starting on Christmas Eve, going into early overnight Christmas morning. My personal favorites, Bad Santa and Christmas Vacation, feature the climax of their narratives occurring on Christmas Eve. But as far as I'm concerned, the temporal setting of Die Hard is its only bona fide claim to Christmas moviedom. That's really the only reason you can call Die Hard a Christmas movie, is because it takes place on Christmas Eve. There's really no other reason for one to call it a Christmas movie. And I will expound. I will make my ironclad argument with logic and reasoning. I will not rely on emotion. I like to rely on a decent fucking webcam, though. Let's do some analysis here, okay? Let's really dive into it, okay? I'm going to use some big words. There's more to a Christmas film than that it simply takes place on Christmas. I think there has to be a little bit more than just it's December 25th. Have you guys ever seen To Live and Die in LA? If you haven't, it's an absolute banger. William Friedkin classic. Kino Lorber put it out on 4K like 2.5 years ago, something like that. So fairly recently, I advise you go pick it up. To Live and Die in LA takes place starting roughly on like the 21st, 22nd or so of December, and takes place throughout the holiday season. I believe it ends right around the 1st of January. But go ahead and watch that movie. Friedkin is very explicit with his his intertitles, his text on screen telling you what date it is. He'll tell you that it's December 23rd. He'll tell you that it's December 24th. He'll tell you that it's December 31st. Regardless, the movie takes place over the course of the holiday season, as it were, and yet it's nothing like a Christmas movie. You could easily forget that the events are taking place over the holiday season. First of all, it's occurring in LA. The action happens in LA. So there's no snow. People aren't bundled up as you would see in many Christmas movies where there's snow. People are wearing coats and scarves and drinking hot cocoa with mittens on and shit. And there's none of that in To Live and Die in LA. There's also no real Christmas. I mean, it's a movie about a fairly crooked Secret Service agent who does work for the Treasury who's trying to catch a counterfeiter who is a murderous guy, killed his old boss and partner, and he's pretty upset about that. And he's willing to break the law in order to catch the bad guy. And it has nothing to do with Christmases, and it has nothing to do with the holidays. Like I said, you could watch To Live and Die in L.A. and think it's happening in July because nobody wears a fucking coat in this movie. So obviously, just because a film takes place on December 23rd, 24th, 25th doesn't make it a Christmas movie. And Exhibit A is To Live and Die in LA. And if you've seen To Live and Die in LA, then you already smelling what I'm stepping in, okay? You already know I'm fucking right. I'm about to lay down some fucking really good points here, okay? So take your shirt off and rub them nipples because I'm about to lay it down. So things like mise en scène that we might consider. And I use To Live and Die in LA as an example, but think of any Christmas movie that is a Christmas movie, Bad Santa, Christmas Vacation, uh, the Santa Claus. I mean, any Christmas movie that you would have seen, Elf, any Christmas movie that you would have seen, whether you own the movie on 4K or just you catch it on TBS every year. What I'm trying to tell you is that with the mise en scène, when a film is set at Christmas, it's kind of like a built-in film language to tell you this is happening at Christmas or to remind you that this is happening at Christmas. Things like music, also themes and motifs of the story. I'm going to give you some examples of all of those. So with mise en scène, I'm referring really to like on-screen imagery that may or may not be a important element of the shot. It might just be a background element, or it might be like an important set piece, like in Christmas Vacation. But it's either subtle or overt reminder that you're watching a Christmas movie. For example, Christmas lights, like those seen on Clark Griswold's house in Christmas Vacation. I often think of those lights. There are times that you see the lights after they're working in an establishing shot, for instance. It just shows the exterior of Clark's house, and you know it's his house because it's fucking it's lit up so insane. But then it's also a plot point of the film is that he's trying to get the lights on the house and then not break his neck and then also get the lights to actually fucking work. So it is both overt and then after that plot point is kind of once that arc is kind of over, it becomes a more subtle reminder like this is an exterior establishing shot that shows us Clark Griswold's house. We can cut to the interior now. We know that this action is occurring at home. It might establish that it's evening because the sun is down, but it's a reminder that like this is Christmas time. There's snow on the ground. There's a Christmas tree in the background as Clark talks to cousin Eddie. Um, the tree is included in the background of that interior shot. For another example, Bad Santa frequently makes use of non-diegetic Christmas classics by folks like Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra. There's a scene where Willie and what's the midget character's name? I've seen the movie 30 times. Willie and his diminutive partner are walking into their job for the very first time. They're walking across that parking lot, and you hear a non-diegetic, of course, because it's very loud, and they're walking across the parking lot in a long shot. But you hear that very classic Christmas song being played as they're walking through, and you can see the heat, coming up, and it's a perfect juxtaposition with the shots of that like balmy Arizona heat wave in that parking lot. And it creates this really perfect contrast that I think is so well done in Zwigoff's Bad Santa. But that music, along with the image of like the tiny elf and Billy Bob Thornton dressed up as Santa Claus, it reminds you that it's Christmas, despite the fact that it looks like it's 85 degrees. It creates this contrast that works perfectly for the film, but at the same time, it reminds you with the mise en scène, with the music, that we're looking at a Christmas movie here. You're not going to forget. You could walk inside the house and not ever having seen the movie before, somebody else is watching it. You just see that shot on the TV. You know you're looking at a Christmas movie. It might be a weird one, but you know you're looking at a Christmas movie. And of course, in Bad Santa, as well as The Grinch and A Christmas Carol, the main character is this kind of mean-spirited curmudgeon. He's very anti-Christmas, anti-holidays, not the kind of person that you would want to spend time with over the holidays, but begrudgingly, these characters are transformed by their experience in the narrative this experience of the spirit of kindness and giving at Christmas time, they're transformed into kind of kinder and better human beings. So, in terms of themes and motifs in Christmas films, the idea that some, some spirit of charity at the holidays, some transcendent element of this time of year is able to transform these people that seem so set in their ways and so anti to Christmas. And I think that's an important element of Christmas films as well, is that it's kind of a trope at this point, right? Because it's been done and redone, and yet it's something that's very effective for the viewer that we like seeing because it seems to reinforce in us as the viewer the kind of the whole meaning of the season, right? I think all of these things are important elements of Christmas films. Often, Christmas films also include elements of like magic or fantasy. Many films include Santa Claus, like as a character, straight up doing like all his legendary shit. I know I mentioned the Santa Claus with Tim Allen. That one has elements of fantasy, some magic involved. Tim Allen becomes Santa Claus, and so there is a magical North Pole full of magical elves making magical toys and shit like that, and many Christmas films do feature that. Even Kurt Russell has played Santa Claus recently. I saw the first one of them movies. I watched the first 10 minutes of the second one. I was like, "What the fuck is this shit?" I mean, the first one wasn't even that great, but don't fuck with the sequel. Don't fucking beat me off with sandpaper with that sequel, because that's what it was. So, thus, based on the corpus of Christmas movies, it becomes clear that in order to be called a Christmas movie, a film must take place around and or on Christmas. So it's got to be close to Christmas, proximity to Christmas holiday, which allows for imagery like the Christmas lights, the Christmas trees, the stockings, the fireplaces, snowmen, reindeer, Santa Claus, all that shit. Okay. And this is very important, and it must involve motifs and or plot lines that are associated with Christmas. It needs to have some of the tropes in there. I mean, even a movie that is as subversive as Bad Santa, even still, that sort of the Grinch, Scrooge, Ebenezer Scrooge trope of misanthrope becoming kinder over the course of the holidays, it's still it still holds true. So as subversive as Bad Santa wishes to be, it's actually a pretty sweet story. And please refer to my commentary on this channel of a year ago. I sat through the entirety of Bad Santa, and I performed a feature film commentary, which you can find on this channel. Just go look back a year ago. It might be in one of my live videos, but I do think I provided some actual analysis. I used my film theory degree. It wasn't just me watching a movie. I mean, was really trying to dig into some of the meaning behind Bad Santa, because I actually do think that that is a fairly significant a holiday film. So characters have to become more generous, as Scrooge does. They may even perhaps sacrifice themselves to become better people, as Willie Soak does in Bad Santa. He gets shot up by the police at the end of that movie, and I do believe the original intention was to kill that character off. I mean, the idea was that he was willing to, at least, even if he didn't die, he was willing to sacrifice himself in the pursuit of elevating his own self above kind of his previous selfishness and misanthropy. Now, Die Hard, to get back to the topic at hand, Die Hard does take place on Christmas Eve, so you can check that first box for Die Hard. And I fully expect those among you with the slackest of jaws to come at me with arguments about John McClane's character arc somehow fitting the description I gave for a Christmas movie. You're going to try to check that second box, motherfucker, but you can't. You can't do it. That's plagiarism, and I'm gonna fucking fail you from the course. Okay. The fact is, John McClane is a cop whose duty it is to fuck shit up. That's his duty. He's doing his duty over the course of this film. He is not acting outside of character, and he's not elevating himself to become a better human being. He's just fucking shit up. That's what he does. That's what he's trained to do. It's an 80s movie after all. When German bad guys show up with submachine guns, What does our hero do? He fucks them up. Okay? That makes the movie awesome, but it doesn't make it a Christmas movie. And I'm not here to criticize Die Hard as a film. Die Hard is a fantastic fucking movie. It is a great movie. It's so much fun to watch, right? John McClane saves his wife. They reconnect romantically for now, at least. It doesn't stick, but it is what it is. John doesn't learn some like mushy lesson about kindness or giving. That's not an element of Die Hard, right? That whole second piece that I said, the trope about learning some lesson about the Christmas season and the spirit of giving and like giving bullets to the bad guys does not count because that's just murder. It's killing in self-defense. I wouldn't call it murder. It's killing in self-defense, but even still, killing people is not what Christmas is about. Can we all agree on that? Okay. At most, we see that John McClane is capable of self-sacrifice. He's able to put himself out there and risk his neck, but there's no indication that it's a result of his arc. He doesn't start more misanthropic than he ends. It really has nothing to do with the Christmas spirit at all. I mean, whatever he does, whatever self-sacrifice, like I said, it's his sense of duty. It's not the Christmas spirit getting into John McClane. John's a cop. He's got a strong sense of duty throughout the film. And this film is not about making a statement. It's not about revealing what the whole Christmas season is all about. It's really just about having some visceral 80s action fun. And I'm here for that. Don't get me wrong. Don't misinterpret the nature of this video. I am absolutely here to praise Die Hard. I'm just here to say it's not a Christmas movie, right? As my coup de grace in this argument, I will ask you to contemplate the importance of Christmas specifically within the narrative of Die Hard. How well would Die Hard work if the events did not take place on Christmas Eve? I contend that Die Hard needs a holiday for the narrative to work. There needs to be a reason for the Nakatomi Plaza holiday party, and there needs to be a pretense for a reduction in first responder staff. We got to explain why all the employees are gathered there, right? All the Nakatomi employees are gathered for a party, and why there aren't many cops around at first, right? So those are the two things that we really need to explain. And in Die Hard, Christmas is used to explain those two things. But that's really all we need to. We just need to explain those two elements of the plot as we begin the film. So my coup de grace is this: pretty much any major holiday will do. Die Hard works on the 4th of July. I'm sorry. Die Hard works the day before Thanksgiving as well. Maybe not quite as good, but ultimately Christmas was chosen, but it's not necessary to the narrative of Die Hard. Without changing any events or themes of Die Hard's story, you could simply pick it up and plop it on any other major holiday. You can't relocate A Christmas Carol to Easter without some major changes, chief among them the themes of generosity and charity. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation has to occur near Christmas for the major subplot of Clark's Christmas bonus to exist. That's a major subplot that plays out at the end and helps with the resolution of the film. You don't take place at Christmas, you don't have a Christmas bonus. That's a pretty big plot point, okay? Die Hard, on the other hand, would work just fine as a summer blockbuster set on the 4th of July weekend. You can imagine that there's a big summer holiday party for the employees at Nakatomi Plaza, and as many police officers as possible are taking PTO, as many as the force can spare, just like they do at Christmas time. Christmas time is not the only time that police officers and first responders take a little bit of PTO and take vacation. There are other major holidays throughout the year, okay? And 4th of July is one of them. John is coming to LA, California, to spend time with his kids and win back his wife. He can do that any time of year. And the same as always, Hans Gruber seizes the opportunity to strike. But again, does it really matter that, I mean, like Hans Gruber's not Santa Claus. 4th of July would work just as well for Hans Gruber. He's not there to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. I mean, he's the bad guy. Die Hard doesn't need Christmas. It's not a Christmas movie. Thus, rest my case. Again, I reiterate, Die Hard is an awesome movie. It's a late 80s action classic. Bruce Willis is perfect. Alan Rickman is even more perfect somehow. I love a German accent. It is what it is. I'm about no shame in my game. This is not something I'm ashamed to admit. I love a German accent, man or woman. Heidi Klum, I'll fucking watch America's Top Model until she left the show just because she got that fucking thick ass German accent. I love a German accent. And it's not sexual because I love a dude with a German accent too. Like motherfucking Werner Herzog and them. Fucking love motherfucking Werner Herzog and them. Look, I will also add that I only watch Die Hard around Christmas time due to its setting. I'm not watching Die Hard in June. I heard one YouTuber make that point, and I think that's a very valid point. You're not watching Die Hard in May because it does take place on Christmas Eve, and there is Christmas imagery as a part of the mise en scène. And the movie's incredibly satisfying. It's a fun thing to watch as a kind of take a break from the actual Christmas movies, right? I gotta stop drinking beer while I do these. However, I will stop short of considering Die Hard a Christmas movie. So feel free to fight me over it in the comments. I mean, I do apologize. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I am prepared for my opinion to be very poorly received. I'm prepared for you guys to tell me to go fuck my mother. Wouldn't be the first time I've heard that. It takes time for the truth to be accepted. Honestly, look at how the world treated Galileo and Copernicus, okay? But we have eventually come around. You can deny this truth that I bring to you. I know it's hard at first, but nonetheless, I love you for watching this video. And I wish you a Merry Christmas if you celebrate, or, enjoy your Chinese food and time off work if you're Jewish. Jesus may not love you, but I still do, okay? Peace on earth and goodwill to you, motherfuckers.